Greetings everyone, welcome to the channel. It's Ready Set Go, and today I'm here outside Webb's Motorcycles of Lincoln because they have been wonderful enough to let me get fully acquainted with this, the Triumph Street Triple RS. Now this is the 2019 edition RS. Just a week ago, Triumph unveiled a huge new update to this already range-topping, award-winning motorcycle for 2020. So I thought, what better way than to get fully acclimatized and fully acquainted with this machine by riding the current 2019 edition, which still shares a lot of similarities to the updated version, including the power output, geometry of the bike, the ergonomics, the suspension setup. Obviously, the new 2020 edition has a whole host of real tangible improvements, including an up and down quick shifter, fully updated TFT dash, improving on the current version. There's even more torque coming out of the 765 engine, so Triumph are really tapping into that Moto 2 development program and adding even more value and more power into this already incredible engine. The big marketing push is the new headlamp system on the new 2020 version, with the new angular LED daytime running lights and a more aggressive looking front end compared to the teardrop version on this 2019 edition. And obviously this new 2020 version is going to be Euro 5 compliant, and it has a new end can as well. Nice additional finishing touches and bodywork to really create a whole new update to this machine. And the big selling point is it's still £10,300 or this amount in US dollars. So Triumph are giving a whole host of improvements on an already incredible machine. And I think while we're waiting for demonstrators to come in, while we're waiting for these new updates to hit the showroom, I thought what better time than to jump on the current version and see what all the fuss is about. So here we go, 2019 Triumph Street Triple RS. Let's go. Wow, this is such a stunning bike. Just the attention to detail on everything, you know, just the finish and the switches. Oh, good grief. Quick ergonomics check. Let's swing my leg over. 5 foot 8 inches tall, seat height is 825 millimeters. I can get both feet very comfortably on the floor there. Okay, and as the salesman John at Webb's, great guy, he took me around the bike. He instructed me that to turn the engine on, we need to put the clutch in and hit the button. Oh, that's good. That's very nice. So this particular bike doesn't have any aftermarket cans on it. There's no Arrow or any other kind of cans. This is a stock can, and it sounds wonderful. Good grief, those pegs are high. Wow, I didn't expect that at all. But I have been told this is a naked sports bike. You know, this is a naked stripped back sports bike with the high bars, give you a good commanding riding position on the road. It's such a small and nimble bike just to maneuver around the parking lot here. And that throttle response is so crisp. So as you can see on the dash there, I'm currently in rain mode. The top left of the dash there's a little rain cloud there. I thought I'd put it in rain mode first, just to soften everything up. And we do have a few rain clouds overhead, so I'm just praying to the rain gods that they don't unleash their bounty. Yes, I'm feeling quite perched in a sporty position here. You know, I like to obviously go on about my the geometry of things, but yes, I feel quite perched. There's a little bit of weight on the wrists, but you know, it's not wrist-crushingly painful. Just going to go over here. That's nice. These switch gears are really, God, the finish on this bike is incredible. So yes, I'm currently in rain mode. This RS comes with a raft of different riding modes: track, sports, standard. There's even a rider customizable mode, which I have no idea what entails. Well, that just sounds incredibly exciting anyway, that you can customize your own riding mode to suit your own preferences and conditions. I'm just riding along here, just sort of take it through the town and just see how this thing trundles along at the low revs. Oh, this is a nice bike. This is a nice bike. So this is the 2019 edition Street Triple RS. According to Jonathan, who I was speaking to at Webbs, he says that there is a very limited supply of the current edition RSs now. With the imminent arrival of the new 2020 update, these 2019 edition RSs are becoming quite thin on the showroom floors. So there's no doubt some bargains to be had there if you are looking for a Street Triple RS and are not fussed about all the updates they're bringing out. It's probably the most comprehensive, attractive display on a bike I've ever seen. It's just colourful and informative, and there's no doubt there's options to include, connect up your phone, and I think the new 2020 edition has the GoPro integration as well. So yeah, I'm just trying to get used to this seating position. It really is. It's very sporty. I feel perched up. My butt is in the air a bit, and I was quite surprised at how high these pegs are. But the bars really push you back and give you that commanding position on the road. You're not hunched right over in a wrist-crushingly painful position. And this particular model, this 2019 edition, does have a quick shifter going up the box. The new 2020 edition has an up and down quick shifter. I'm guessing that obviously comes with an auto blipper as well. So again, and they're releasing this new 2020 edition at the same price as this one. So you're getting all of that extra torque and dash and sculpted bodywork and Euro 5 compliant exhaust systems and everything, all for the same price. It's a Betty bargain, as they say here. I was speaking to Jonathan, the salesman at Webbs there, and he said that everyone who has ridden this particular demonstrator that I'm riding on now has actually gone and bought a Street Triple RS. So he told me that there's no pressure, but I kind of understand why. During this ride, I'm going to be comparing this a bit to the MT-09, the Yamaha MT-09. I rode that about a month ago, and that thoroughly impressed me. That was an unhinged animal of a machine, and I'm quite intrigued to see how this compares to that. I'm just cruising along here, and these bar end mirrors that are standard on the RSs. They're doing a great job. I can see absolutely everything in the back there. It's lovely. And thankfully the clouds are dissipating and there is a dry line on the track, ladies and gentlemen, a dry line on the track. That's so smooth! That's a good feeling. There's nice bit of tactile feedback as you're blipping up. I remember the Yamaha MT-09, there was no kind of feedback on the quick shifter as you went up, and it was, it just kind of happened, and it was a bit of a surprise, but there's a nice bit of feeling there coming up those gears. Oh, I like that. The dash has just changed to daylight mode. Obviously we've come out of the shadows, and now that's really nice. I like that. A bit of grease on the track here. Oh, that power! Goodness me! What a lovely sound that makes. Okay, let's look at here. Ooh, that's coming down those gears. Second, 70 miles an hour in the first gear. Ooh, that's good. Oh, this is so much fun. Goodness me. I'm just getting used to the fact that there's no screen on this particular bike. So I know you can get a little aftermarket flip-up screen for the Street Triples, the RSs. And I'm just getting used to the fact that there's so much wind blast going up, coming up that bit of open road there. Obviously that's a good reminder, just to kind of remind yourself that you are on naked and just how fast you are going. being perched in this position, it feels like I'm hanging kind of right over the front end, and I guess I am in a way. You know, it puts the weight on the front wheel, and there's a nice consistent bit of engine braking there in second, just closing that throttle, and the bike's just braking quite nicely. I like that. That quick shifter is smooth as silk, and when you're coming up there is a really nice bit of tactile feedback just as you press it, and it's reassuring to know that it's in. You know, the Yamaha MT-09, it was a bit skittish on that quick shifter, but this is really smooth. Everything about this bike just seems to be there's so much attention to detail. The switch gear, you know, I'm a big fan of the switch gears. As you can imagine, this is Triumph. There is lots of feedback. The finish is fantastic. It really inspires confidence, and you really do get a premium feel of finish on this machine. There's lots of buttons and arrays here to access menu systems and navigate them and select them. I won't be going too much into those today. So well. Nice clutch, nice light clutch action there. Really nice slipper clutch action there, just light as anything. Like I said, just cruising along at 70 miles an hour here, and it's there is a fair amount of wind blast on the chest, but it's a reassuring amount of wind blast. It's not a problem at all. Greasy bit. Just getting used to this riding position now. The seat is surprisingly comfortable. I remember the MT-09 was just kind of a thin layer of foam really, and it hurt a bit after a while, but there is a fair degree of cushioning on this bike, so on the Street Triple I don't think you'd have any problems doing some longer miles on this, especially with this really nice upright riding position. It's I mean, the pegs are a bit high. They are, you know, I'm surprised at how high the pegs are, but at the same time the bars are nice and wide, so it's a kind of a really nice hybrid of sporty position yet you know, comfort and commanding riding position on the road. Your head's up, your shoulders are back. It's a very empowering riding position. A very premium riding experience on the whole. Let's just come down these gears again. Just blipping that engine. So as I'm coming around these roundabouts here, I'm just being a little bit mindful of the greasy parts of the road here. It has rained overnight, so I'm just kind of taking it a little bit easy at the moment, waiting for the tyres to get a little bit warmer. I feel incredibly at home on this bike very quickly. This is just, you know, it doesn't feel alien at all. Yes, one other thing, I was talking to Jonathan with the in the showroom. He was telling me, I know a lot of people complain about these LCD dashes, you know, these TFT dashes, and when the sun reflects on them, and he showed me a really handy little bit. You see that little metal bit there? You can actually tilt the dash, which is quite cool. I like that. That's just a really nice little finishing touch that you can actually tilt the dash. So we're just cruising along. Let's put it into fifth. Cruising along at fifth, 42 miles an hour. Let's just pull on that throttle, and there is a bit of pull. It takes I think 7,000, 8,000 RPM. That's when the magic happens. But in these lower revs, there's still plenty there to wind the bike up, and if you need to do overtaking in the higher gears, I don't think you have any problems whatsoever. And again, this is in rain mode, so this is the softest of the modes. I wonder if I can just put it into. Oh, we can actually change modes whilst riding. Just put it in road mode. Oh no, that's me. That's the wrong one. It's that one. Aha! No. Road mode. What does it say? Close throttle to confirm. Please wait. Conditions not met. Okay, that's fine. We'll pull over shortly and have a play with that. But obviously you need to have the right conditions to change mode. Oh, we are in road mode. I just looked down. We are in road mode. Conditions have been met. Conditions have been met. Ooh, those Brembos. Those Brembos. I forgot to mention, obviously, this bike is set up with the Showa big piston forks at the front, fully adjustables. We've got the Olins, the sweet golden Olins on the back. And we have Brembos all around as well. This bike is purely, absolutely kitted out with the finest that you can get. And the riding experience is just absolutely resonating with quality and smoothness. I love this roundabout in the drive, but unfortunately it's so wet. Look at it. Oh, goodness me, that's such a shame. Drive it. Coming down those gears, a little bit of vibration in that left foot peg, as you would imagine coming in the high revs there. This is a triple, not a twin, so there is a bit of vibration there. A little bit. I am gripping the accelerator a little bit with a bit more enthusiasm than usual because I'm a bit more, nervous excitement there. Now I've just seen I'm not in rain mode yet. I think it's kind of fluxing between the two. We've got the rain cloud and the road happening, so I think I need to pull over. Let's go down here actually. Down that indicator on. Okay, into neutral. There we go. So you can just see it's fluxing between. We're in flux. The flux capacitor is fluxing. So let's just kind of select. Here we go. I'm in road. Into road mode, and we're in. Done. Let's have a quick look at this machine here. You can just see here that Webbs have actually fitted the Triumph tail tidy, the official Triumph tail tidy, which looks really nice actually. That's a really clean finish there. That's good. And there's a usable pillion seat there. That's actually not a bad pillion seat for a naked sports bike such as this. Okay. So we're now in road mode. That engine just whistles so pleasantly. Already, compared to the MT-09, what I'm gathering from this bike is just how smooth and refined everything is. Watching this slightly greasy road here. But yes, I remember the MT-09 was quite a twitchy and nervous affair. There was lots of power in that engine. The engine was fantastic. It was raw, it was untamed. Compared to that, this Triumph Street Triple is refined, and there is just an equal amount of power there, but it just seems to be delivered in a more controlled and refined way. There seems to be, they've really taken the time to deliver a really smooth and premium experience in power delivery and handling. I think the MT-09 is remarkable fun going into those corners, and unfortunately I can't really throw this bike into corners today because of the road conditions. But just by coming up and down the gears and using the brakes and just probably the best way to kind of describe them both, really. The MT-09 is a bit of an untamed Mustang of a horse, you know. Only the brave will go onto it and try and unleash its full potential. You know, it's a stallion, a wild horse, whereas this is kind of like a pedigree thoroughbred horse. You know, it's been groomed, it's been fed the best food that horses can buy, because horses obviously buy their own food. Big puddle, big puddle. Just got to be careful. I might go back into rain mode, maybe, perhaps. I do like the dash. I like the way that this kind of stays in dark mode or night mode. I know on the KTM 790 there's been a few videos and people have been saying how quickly that shifts back and forth, you know, a bit of shadow, dark mode, bright daylight, sunlight mode, you know, it kind of is a bit skittish, but this seems to make a decision and stick with it. It's very, it's not distracting in any way. And apparently on this particular dash, on the, I'm guessing on the brand new dash, the 2020 dash as well, you can fully customise the information that you see on the dash, which is really interesting. You know, the fun doesn't just stop when you get off the bike. It's when you get it to the garage, you can really tailor this thing and have some real cool nerdy fun with it. Lots of water here, lots of standing water. Oh, this thing is so much fun to ride. You feel like you're on a race bike. You really do feel like you're on a race bike. Just bringing it down gently. That's where that hit that 7,000 RPM. That's where everything starts to happen. But there's still enough pull there to you know, use in everyday riding situations. And of course in the 2020 edition, Triumph have increased the torque by 9%, which is just remarkable, really. It's a real testament to the fact that, you know, Triumph are really throwing in everything into that Moto 2 development program, and they're all those benefits and all those enhancements and innovations that they're coming up with, they're really putting into these machines. And I'm flabbergasted that the price is still the same. It's a fantastic deal for riders, £10,300, and you get so much more that on an already incredible award-winning bike. Bits of bumpy road here. Let's just see those Showa forks and the O-lings just smoothing everything out and lovely. On my Yamaha Tracer, I'm bouncing around all over the place, and there's a lot of feedback and shock going through the handlebars into my wrists and my arms, but this is just rolling over these bumps. This is a real bumpy bit of road bit here, just at 30 miles an hour, and you can probably see the bars are nipping around a little bit, but it's very smooth. On my Tracer, I literally have to stand out of the seat at some points just to kind of get over those bumps, but no such problems with this. There is a bit of mud on the road as well as the moisture as well, so I'm going to have to be a little bit cautious on these twisty bits. Unfortunately, it's a shame, but given the amount of fun and pleasure that I'm getting from this ride already, I have no doubt this will not be my last ride on a Triumph Street Triple RS. I can pretty much assure you of that. Just the tantalising notion of taking this around a racetrack is, as you would imagine, very tantalising. There's lots of mud on the road here. We do have quite a few farms and farmland here of tractors pulling out. So this little section of road here, left and right section, is one of my favourite bits of road, but as I say, we'll have to just be careful. Brembo's just stopping it quite nicely. Just going to keep it in second here, a bit of back brake as well, just to shore things up a bit. Yeah, it's kind of semi-dry, but not an ugh. Just leaving it in second. And just, again, lots of moisture here, and big bumps there, but again, this suspension setup just smoothing everything out and making it much less aggressive. Hitting 10,000 RPM in third gear on this thing, and it just keeps pulling. And you know, when the Millennium Falcon takes off into hyperspace and kind of the stars start to kind of morph and merge into kind of a blanket of light, that's kind of what happens on this bike. Again, the MT-09 power was there all the time. You flick that wrist and it's there in a very untapped manner. You know, it's exhilarating, but this seems to smooth, and then it kind of says, right then, let's go, and the fist closes and sends you into hyperspace. Such a smooth, oh, what a great experience there. Good job, Triumph, good job. But it's not all just about the power and performance of this bike. You know, if obviously I get one of these bikes, whatever bike I'm riding, I'm going to be commuting on it most days. Let's just get behind this guy. You know, whatever bike I'm riding, I'm going to be commuting on it most days. So comfort and practicality is, you know, right up there in my priorities. And in terms of riding position, I don't think I'd have any problems whatsoever being comfortable on this for long commutes and doing a bit of touring on, in fact, going down to the races. Let's just pull in here a bit. Burble, burble, burble. Look at that little burble of the exhaust note there. Again, this is standard exhaust. Goodness me, is that a car in there? That is a car in there. Someone's just gone straight on into the bush. Goodness me. The roads around here are incredibly bumpy and bouncy, and on my Tracer 700, which is a very you know, straight up, simple setup of a motorcycle, accelerating hard on that really is a very bouncy and rickety affair. But on this, coming up the gears, just accelerating on these bumpy roads, and this suspension setup just eats up the bumps for lunch and smooths out the experience. It really is a pleasure to ride. Bit dry, but it's not a bit dry. First, just using that back brake a bit. That's nice. Just braking a bit there and feeling the ABS just judder a little tiny bit. It's reassuring. Quick plug here to Webb's Motorcycles of Lincoln. They've been here for a very, very long time. They have a lovely showroom. It's all kitted out nicely, Yamaha and Triumph, and a used bike section as well, but they're always very they offer a very premium experience and a very professional experience there. Reassuring engine braking there, it's really nice. Just been riding on the bike for about maybe 3/4 of an hour now, and just going back to the riding position with the pegs being a little bit higher, obviously in a sportier position here, much more, you know, quite surprised at how high the knees are, but it's not really uncomfortable at all. The balls of my feet are on the pegs. but given the bars are nice and wide and upright, it really offers a nice balance between sporty and comfort and practicality. So this is a riding position that could go for quite a few hours in the saddle with no problems at all. No problems. Let's have a quick cheek. That to hit 7,000, then it starts to pull now. So fifth gear there, just fifth gear up the box with some nice gradual, and then it hit that 8, 9, and that's when it started to pull. Just slowing it down, lots of grease on the road. That second gear, that's just where the fun happens. Coming out of corners. Do love these Brembos. My first bike ride on a bike with Brembos on, and it's just literally just a one finger experience to get this thing stopped. No problems. I can see why Triumph have really pushed the marketing on the update bike to as comfortable on the road as it is on the track. This is a bike that just has to go on the track. So, when you want to get the most out of this thing, you take this thing on the track. We're just going to pull up here shortly and just have a really good look around the bike. I think on paper, when you see these things in the magazines and on the screens and on the internet, the looks can be a bit polarizing. People are not too sure about the lights, whether they stick out too much from the, from where the tank is. But when you see it in the flesh, it really just says, nah, this is an awesome bike. It looks wonderful. Pull the clutch in, press it once, and then, and it comes to life. Slippy leaf mode. I should have a leaf mode. Autumn mode. Let's just check out the turning circle. Yep, full lock. Yeah, bars aren't touching the tank or anything. That's nice. I like that. Your fingers weren't touching anything there. Real practicality as well as performance. So what is there to say about the Triumph Street Triple RS? I'm a little bit gobsmacked, to be honest. I'm kind of running out of words, really. It is an absolutely refined riding experience. It is a very premium riding experience. Comparing it to things I know, my Twin, which is a very simple motorcycle, which is very rickety and bouncy, and compared to the MT-09 I rode, which is quite skittish, same amount of power output as this bike, same kind of similar weight. As I've mentioned before, I kind of see the MT-09 as a bit of a a Mustang, a wild horse, a bit of a rough around the edges, and it takes a very brave person to take that bike to the full limits. Whereas this Street Triple RS is like a pedigree racehorse. It is groomed to perfection, and the attention to detail is wonderful. The power delivery, all the power is there, but it's delivered in a very smooth and satisfying and then exhilarating way right at the end. The power band comes in and you just propel forward at a rate of knots. The comfort on this thing is surprising. When you first sit on it and your knees are a little bit high and you think, oh, it's a sporty position, but the O-lins and the show of forks and the setup just smooths out all the imperfections in the road, and just inspires confidence and wants you to open up the throttle and go even quicker. And then the Brembos kick in and bring you to a very satisfying halt with just one finger on the bar. It's a very refined riding experience, and that's probably the best word to describe this. The power delivery, the stopping power, the ride and the comfort. On top of that, it is just massively exhilarating and really puts a smile on your face. Ooh, we've gone into night mode. Night mode. So it's been an absolute pleasure and an exhilarating ride on this 2019 Triumph Street Triple RS. Thank you very much for joining me today, everybody. It's been a Set Go. What would you like to see me riding next? Please drop a comment below and I'll see what I can do. I'll see if I can accommodate your needs as well as mine. So fortunate the road conditions haven't been better today, But this has been an absolute pleasure. It's really given me a good insight as to what this bike can do, what this bike is capable of, and you know what Triumph are going to be delivering in this huge update coming in the next month on this particular model of machine. But yes, it's been a pleasure. Ready, set, go. Please like and subscribe to support the channel, and I shall see you next time.